Today I'm going to show you the GPVPT2BT, which actually rolls off the tongue surprisingly well, but doesn't really explain what it is. The GPVPT2BT is a Bluetooth handle and a mini tripod built into one. It enables you to control the shutter button, the movie record button, and the C1 button through Bluetooth, as well as the zoom function. You can use it with a mechanical zoom, as well as, say, the clearer image zoom in most Sony cameras. I've been using it with the A6400 and the A7 III, and it has come in handy in a few different ways. I went out the other day and did a shoot in the desert. My videos are normally tutorials, but instead I thought I'd bring you along to show you how I do a shoot. And if you haven't seen this already, click on the eye in the corner or the link in the description. One thing I've found with this grip is that it's very easy to use. You can rotate the camera around from selfie to forward facing. So I've got it here, and all you need to do is press this button here, and you can switch it around. So you've got all of the buttons here, you switch it back around. So really good for vloggers. As well as that, you have this button on the side where you press and you can tilt the camera forwards and backwards. Not only that, you've got this dial which controls the friction of that. So if I loosen this right off, it's really loose. And if I tighten that back up, this is really tight. Obviously, we've got the tripod legs that come out. That means that you can sit your camera on a flat surface. I also got my wife to film with it as well, and she gave me some really good feedback. As I'm so used to where the buttons are on the camera, I would instinctively go to the back of the camera or reach round to the back of the camera, and this is just out of habit. But for her, as a fresh user, this grip worked really well. She found it really easy to use as the buttons were already there and all labeled, so all she needed to do was glance down quickly and then press record. And then after a while, she wasn't even looking. She just pressed record, knowing that it was going to start filming video. When you are filming with something like this, you need to think about audio as well. I haven't got it on there at the moment, but I did have the Rode Video Micro on the camera, and this gave me much better audio. And having the microphone over here means that I can still use the flip-up screen. If I was just to mount this microphone to the hot shoe, that would completely obscure this screen. I did throw this all together with some stuff that I had at the bottom of one of my drawers, and there are other things that you can get. Nowadays, I think Small Rig do little brackets that fit on the top of most of the A6000 series cameras. And these are really good, and they move that microphone away. And this leads me on to who this grip is made for. As it has that movie button and zoom function on the grip, I'm guessing it's for vloggers, especially because of the cheesy promo video on the Sony website of the flour and cooking vlogger. If you haven't seen it yet, click on the eye in the corner or the link in the description. It's a little bit cheesy, but it does show who this is for. To connect it up to a camera, it does take a bit of doing, and if you haven't updated the firmware in your camera, you will have to do this. Basically, to quickly see if it will work with your camera without any firmware updates, all you have to do is go into your network tab, which is the green one on the back with the globe logo. Go to page 2 on the A6400 or page 3 on the A7 III. And if you don't see the Bluetooth remote control option, you will have to update your firmware. And with this comes some challenges. I've just upgraded my Mac to Catalina, and it's really annoying me at the moment. Not only is it really buggy, but the Sony firmware update doesn't work on it. It's February 2020 now, and I'm on 10.15.2. I am going to upgrade it to 0.3, so hopefully that'll work with it. But it's not worked with my computer. Hopefully they'll update this soon to work again. Now I really wish I'd stuck to the older operating system, but I'm stuck with this one now. Luckily, my wife didn't upgrade her operating system and she still has 10.14.6, which I think is Mojave or something like that. But anyway, this worked and I was able to update the firmware on the A6400. Now, after updating the firmware to 2.0, it works and I was able to use this Bluetooth remote. To turn it on and activate it, you have to go to tab 3, 2 of 2, and select Bluetooth settings, Bluetooth function, and turn it on. Then come back out and turn on Bluetooth remote control. After that, go back up to Bluetooth settings and pairing. When in this menu, make sure the lock is off on your GPVPT2BT. Hold down the photo and telephoto button, so that's the top part of the zoom rocker switch, and hold this down for 7 to 8 seconds until the little light on the top flashes. It will then ask you if you want to connect to this device. Click OK, and then you're all connected up. Now you can control your camera with it, and every time you turn your camera on, it will automatically connect if it's within range. You will get this remote icon on the screen as well as the Bluetooth logo. When you turn the camera on, the Bluetooth logo will be grayed out. You might have to press a button on the tripod to activate it, but it should turn white as soon as it's made contact. Now, it only has one of these watch button batteries in it, and it always stays on. And as it's such a small battery, I'm guessing it doesn't use too much power. Now, one other way I've been using it is when I'm filming videos like this. I actually have it paired up to my A7 III right now, and I'm using it as a remote. It's a bit bulky, but in the studio or at home like I am now, it works really well. So I've got it recording, and when I press this, it stops and starts it. So it really comes in handy for that. Now, I've seen a few people complaining about the price of this device, and it is a little bit pricey at $139.99. But when you look at a decent GorillaPod, or say a remote control and a separate tripod, they all come in at a similar price. So as accessories go, as it's all built into one, unless you're just going to get a cheap mini tripod, this is quite good value for money. Now onto the things that I don't like about it or ways that it could be improved for the next version. Now, one thing I wish it had was a mounting point on it for a 1/4 inch tripod thread. This would mean that I could easily attach a mic to it without covering up that flippy screen. So if I had something like this little arm and there was a thread here, I could then attach that there without having to get a bracket on the camera, and also I could use the flip up screen. So if there was a thread on this side, that would be fantastic. Another thing I'd really like to see on the next version of this is a 1/4 inch thread on the bottom, so I could attach, say, a quick release plate and then quickly attach it to a tripod. So if I was going from shooting handheld to then mounting it on a tripod and a mini tripod was too low or I didn't have a platform to put it on, this would solve that problem. Most gimbals nowadays have both of these 1/4 inch threads as standard, and they really do come in handy. I know it's no comparison to a gimbal, but having these threads on these accessories would really help. When using it on an uneven surface, you can't level up the camera, so it'd be great if it had a ball head like in the Manfrotto mini tripods on the market at the moment. So if this and this had babies, that would be fantastic. So if this ball head was in place of this elbow joint, that would be really good because you could then level it up even if the surface wasn't flat. And as this is being marketed towards vloggers, a lot of them aren't going to stay at home and film. They'll want to get out into the big wide world. In saying all of that, I do think that this is a handy little device that will help you if you're a vlogger. If you do most of your filming from home, or you have a lot of flat surfaces around where you're filming, it'll come in really handy. You just need a way of connecting an extra mic to get good audio, and then you'll be all set. Now, to learn more about using the A6000 series of cameras for astrophotography, click on this next video here. And to see how I set up my A7 III for video, which you can also apply to the 6000 series of cameras, click on this next video down here. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for weekly videos every Monday and Thursday. I'll see you next time.